Congrats, you've just hired an elite athlete on your sales team. Fantastic move. Great start to growing your business, driving more revenue, and what a great hire to help you do that. Now, let's maximize this hire as best as possible. You've hired an elite athlete to drive performance, enhance company culture. How do you extract all that drive, that work ethic, that resilience, that discipline, that go-getter mentality from this particular person, not only to help them grow, but to help your business grow? So here are some points to think about and be aware of. Number one, start with clear structure and direction. Athletes are used to operating on tell me what to do and I'll do it, right? Use that mentality, especially early on. Tell them exactly what needs to be done. They'll implement and they'll do. Don't let them guess what needs to be done. So you need to spend some time with onboarding this person to ensuring that we're getting the best possible results early. So setting some structure early on, whether it's making X amount of calls in this time, reviewing your calls, sending messages, sending emails at this particular time. That first few weeks, if you can plan as much as possible to give them structure, then they'll start learning the rhythm, the processes, and throwing in their own style, and that'll help them get more proactive in doing things on their own. So then you can be a little bit more hands off, right? But this number one, this point's really important. Set the structure early on, right? Tell them what to do and they'll do it. If you don't tell them shit, they won't do shit. So let's tell them what to do early on, they'll do it, okay? Number two, be direct with feedback. Athletes are used to constantly getting their head screamed at from their head coaches, managers, etc. Constructive criticism, negative criticism, athletes, we don't take it personal. We want to improve. So we actually seek criticism, we seek feedback. What can I improve on? What can I do better? Was that good? Was that bad? Don't be afraid to tell them like it is. If you sense something's bad, that something needs to be worked on, let them know. Right. Number three, training. The best way to get an athlete up to speed is to get him doing things. Don't do sales theory, do sales role plays. Doing, action, that's the best way that athletes will learn and work. The worst thing you can do is sitting behind a desk and textbook and slide deck and this is what we do. I guess if that's needed, great, but at the same time with each slide deck, or if there is a rule of thumb, 30 minutes of theory should equal to an hour of doing, right? So double the theory if there does need to be theory. Action needs to be doubled, right? So let them shadow another rep, do role plays, get them on the phones early, as soon as possible. Number four, let's drip feed information and not overwhelm them with information. So they need to learn sales calls, how to use a CRM, setting up emails, prospecting for leads. This is how to run a perfect discovery call. This is what everybody else in the business does, and you need to align with this exactly like this. So that's information overload. These are all our clients and all the industries we work in. Start off slow with the most important thing that they need to do. You've hired a salesperson, so I would say let's start off with prospecting. Like the first 3 days, let's nail prospecting. This is how you prospect for the ideal lead. Cool, okay. Let's move on to the discovery call. This is how you run a perfect discovery call. You might sprinkle some closing in there as well, just because it's obviously closely related to each other. So don't overload someone with information. Drip feed information slowly. Start with the most important skill they need to learn or piece of information, and then go from there. Number five, throw them in the fire early. Making real calls, going to real meetings, potentially help close a deal, shadow other reps whilst they close deals. Throwing them in the fire early is really important for athletes because they feel like they're doing, right? Doing. That's what athletes are all about, doing, all right? So it could be an early lead, a warm lead that's come in. Let them finagle that lead, let them work on it and see if they can, help the team close it as well. These small little wins at the start, they fuel momentum. It's all about creating momentum. Plug them into the team as soon as possible. Athletes are used to being part of a team, right? There's a physio, there's their teammates, there's the manager, there's the strength and conditioning coach, There's always like a team around athletes. So early on, introduce them to the team, get them, block out half an hour, 45-minute blocks where they're sitting with somebody in marketing, maybe the development team, maybe the tech team, the finance team, just so they're a part of the larger wheel that is your business. It just makes them feel like they're more part of the team as well. Number 7, really important, is to support their ego drop. What I mean by that is athletes are used to being really good at what they do. Like they're used to being some of the best in the world in that particular sport, right? Now that sport's over, they moved on to the corporate world in business, and they're probably early on gonna suck, especially to their own standards that they're used to, right? So support the sucking early on, or support the ego drop early on. So I guess celebrate or allow, normalize failure. Make sure that failure is normal. Almost great, well done on giving it a go and doing that. Here's how I would do it differently. Right? It's okay to fail. It's fine. Like, I actually prefer you fail for the first 20, 30 calls. All I need you to do is just get used to making calls at the moment. Get in that rhythm. The more calls you make, the more you fail, the more you learn from those mistakes, right? Again, athletes aren't scared of failing or losing. Just initially, they're going to go back to being rookies in sales. So there's going to be a massive ego drop. Just support, just understand that. Okay, encourage reps, encourage getting on the phone, getting out and having as many meetings as possible. And it's okay to fail at the start. Once that you've normalized failure, they'll just start doing more and more comfortably, right? And then they'll get better at it and eventually succeed. Little one, get them moving. Get them moving. Athletes hate sitting behind a desk all the time, 24/7. So if they are in the office a lot, more than not, every half an hour, get up, get a cup of water. Make sure you encourage them to do that. Go for a walk after a few calls. Do a quick stretch. Come back to your desk. Do not sit at your desk all day. That's everybody knows that. Number 9, leverage their personal brand. An athlete's story, especially in sales, is really, really unique. And this is something we teach athletes at Athlete to Business anyway. And I would have given a heads up to the particular athlete you hired about this. But just so you're aware as well, most people have the traditional path of going to school, maybe going to university, getting a job, etc., etc. Athletes have a unique story, unique perspective where they might have gone to school, but at the same time, they've competed at a very elite competition in their sport. They've been competing against some of the best people in the world. Their schedules have been grueling, like whether it's traveling the world playing their sport or collegiate athletics, playing in front of thousands and thousands of people. That is unique. They've got media cameras at them all the time, 24/7. Their stories are public. Like, what a life they've lived. C-suite executives, decision makers, they tend to gravitate to those stories. And I guess C-suite executives, decision makers, they're also elite individuals themselves. They respect those that have been at elite scenarios as well. So there's going to be a respect trust factor there. Just people gravitate towards those different stories. Allow the athlete to extrapolate their personal brand, sprinkle across their LinkedIn profile, get them to throw it in their sales pitches, because they'll be different. People will remember different, and people will gravitate towards that success that an athlete might have had. Number 10, tie performance to purpose. What I mean by that is generally athletes are used to being part of a bigger purpose, which is, win the championship. Usually we're all doing this together to eventually win the championship, glory, etc. Show some sort of purpose in your business. Why are you doing this? Why does this role matter? Why does their effort matter in the bigger scheme of things? So tying to some sort of purpose. Again, you don't have to drum this all the time, but just keep it in the back of your head, and I guess naturally throw into the conversation whilst you're onboarding the particular athlete. This is our purpose. This is what we're here for. This is what your role is in this bigger purpose. Number 11, recognize the inputs, not just the outcomes. So, especially early on, when you see a high quality call, great, encourage that. Improved objection handling, amazing, encourage that. Great effort, good messaging. Now they're starting to get in a rhythm with calls. They might be failing here and there, getting a lot of rejections, but they're slowly starting to deal better with rejections. Recognize those early inputs, even if the outputs are not there yet, because then they'll keep doing those inputs and eventually the outputs will come. Number 12, and the final one, is athletes are highly, highly, highly competitive. Introduce a scoreboard in your business, right? Usually KPI driven. Who's made the most calls this week? Sales. Who's made the most number of sales this week? Athletes love that. It's a competitive environment. I want to be the top of that leaderboard. So if you don't have it already, introduce some sort of scoreboard leaderboard in your business that'll drive performance, that'll drive a healthy competition within the team, because athletes are driven by that. Hope those 12 points help. There's obviously an article attached to this as well. If I can help in any way with onboarding your particular athlete, happy to get in touch with me. Call me anytime. Email alex@athletetobusiness.com.au. Call 0421 579 636 plus 61 421 579 636 for my international clients. Hope that helps. Happy revenue making.